Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to Inside Russia. My name is Konstantin. I'm streaming live from the very heart of south of Russia. Welcome to my message, daily message. This is another one. This message is going to be more of a subjective one. I will not tell you facts, figures, numbers, just the situation as I see it around me, and that's going to be a very subjective matter. I would like to invite everyone to join the premiere of a new video that I just made right after this stream. I invite everyone to go over to watch the video of me going and having, well, I was gonna say Big Mac meal, but no, having a meal at Tasty Dot Period, this new Russian company that replaced McDonald's. I called, well, I'm gonna give you a little hint. I called it Sad Period. And why I called it this way, please find out by watching the video. It's going to be a premiere. I'm gonna go over and answer the comments as well, so let's make it fun. My message today is about stability and volatility in Russia. Well, without further ado, let's jump into the volatility or stability or both. I pick my topics for the streams. They kind of jump out to me. I watch a piece of news, I read news, I think, all of a sudden, this sort of a small puzzle kind of, assembled in my head. And I go, wow, that would be interesting as a message. And this morning, I was watching an interview with an older lady, about 60 plus. And the interview was with a bunch of people, but that old lady is the one that it was with a bunch of kind of jumped into me, There was a YouTube channel, I don't really remember which one, and the interviewer was going around and asking regular people of how their lives changed, if ever, since February 2022, in the last 5 months. No, it was not 1420, I would have remembered. And a lot of people, most people, all people except for this lady, were answering in a way, yes, my life has changed. Some were saying life changed a little bit. Some saying life changed a lot. Huge changes, No one really said for the better. Everyone was saying for the worse. Some people were pessimistic. Some were somewhat optimistic, saying we will prevail. Whatever they throw lemons at us, we will make lemonade. Different kinds of opinions, but that kind of a general opinion in Russia these days. And this old lady comes out and answers the question. She says, no, my life has not changed at all. And the interviewer was puzzled. He's in shock. He's asking, well, there are so many changes around us. The prices, food prices, they affect everyone. They're changing, they're climbing up. Exchange rate is volatile, first it shot up, then it went down. Jobs are affected, our future is in question, and so forth. And the lady looked at him in a kind of a sad way, and she told him, she said something like, I was making 20,000 rubles before, which is about around $400 at the current exchange rate, and I think a little less. And she said, I'm still making 20,000 rubles, hasn't changed. The prices are going up, but you know what? She said, for the past 40 years, the food prices have been going up, and I'm very used to it, and there's nothing new to me. I'm so used to this worsening of the situation that nothing's really different to me. And she said, I don't watch really news. All I do is work. I care for my, family, and I help my husband. And she said, I get paid in rubles. I don't care for the exchange rate, and I try to pay little attention to what's going around. Really, I concentrate on myself. So nothing has changed in my life. I totally take her point. Obviously, she came from, most likely, from a small town, because people in big cities, they have mostly different opinions. But her answer made me think. And Russia as a country, and I'm looking at the entire history of Russia since 1991, enjoyed time of relative stability only for 8 years, from 2000 to 2008. Other times, other years, they were absolutely crazily volatile. Changes that took place in Russia are really hard to describe. The one who hasn't lived through them most likely would not understand. The 90s were absolutely. Everything fell apart right in front of our eyes. Everything. The country that we had been building for 70 years all of a sudden was no more. And just imagine you build a house for 70 years. You build foundation, then you do, few rooms, then you add a veranda, then you add second floor, then you add third floor, and then you end up having a large structure. And then overnight, something happens, a wind, hurricane, and your house falls apart. And then you end up sitting in the morning on the ground looking around you, and you have nothing. All your belongings, all your assets, all your money, all your real estate, the house, gone. You're just sitting there, and that's how we were feeling back in 1991. The changes that followed were absolutely incredible, in a good way and in a bad way at the same time. Inflation was 100% every single month. So my parents that was 1992, 1993, my parents would make, even 1991, I think, my parents would receive salary, and in Russia back then we received salary once a month. So, and then we would run to a store to buy something, because if they didn't, then the money would devalue in a week. In a month they would have twice as little. I remember those times. They were absolutely insane, and you know what? We lived through them. And once you live through times like that, year after year, you kind of get used to living in everlasting changes. And the changes are volatile, very violent, then you get used to that too. And then we got used to it. 2000 to 2008 were okay. I call them the golden years. I've said it many times. More or less stability. Well, there was economic growth. The situation wasn't really stable, but it was positive, very positive. Economy was growing. There were so many opportunities, possibilities, bright future, and it was light living in those years. It wasn't heavy. And then starting 2008 came, there was a crisis, and then we rebounded quickly. 9 to 11 to 12, they were okay years. And then 14 happened, and then that's where the stand between Russia and the West was born, and everything started going to pretty much hell from there. Changes entered our lives again. But you know what? I'll be fair. Changes from 14 to 22 were nothing like there today. Right now, back to the 1991 again, it's like our house is getting destroyed. It's not destroyed yet, but we're in the process. And outcome starts lingering there on the horizon, And this is what we are. I am really lucky, personally, because I really lived stability. Stability is a godsend. I went to the USA in 96, and for the following 9 years, I lived in a pretty stable economy. At first, it was very unusual. At first, I didn't wake up and, look for the current exchange rate for ruble to dollar every morning and things like that. That was very, very new, and I liked it very soon after, getting there. Prices wouldn't change year after year after year. Inflation was very low. It was so low, it was not a part of people's lives, because in Russia, inflation was one of the top things that how do I say that lingered over us. There were a few things that influenced our lives greatly. That's security, personal security, inflation, things like that. In the United States, inflation was not in the picture. And my parents moved to Prague, Czech Republic, in year 2000. And with them, it was the same thing. Inflation was not an issue, really. It was very, very low. Stability means that you can plan. You can take out credit. You can plan creating a business. You can plan creating a product, selling it. You can plan getting return on your investment and, returning money to the bank. You can plan. In Russia, we don't plan. Because what's the point of planning if tomorrow everything not can change, but will change? We know that everything will change. Again, in the years of stability, we, as business people, corporations, we tried to plan, but we're not good at it. It's something new to us. The whole concept of planning your life for years and perhaps decades ahead, totally foreign. We didn't do well. My company, huge corporation, wasn't doing planning well. Again, there were no professionals at planning. We were reinventing the wheel, so to speak. And right now, our planning horizon is a couple weeks, few weeks, because we just have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow. So I lived in a stable country, a stable economy. My parents did also. And that's a joy. It's really a joy, because you really don't think that the circumstances are so strong that they can break you or change your life. Everything is up to you. You are in control of your life if you live in a stable society, stable economy. It's up to you. It's how hard you work, how smart you are, how I wanted to say lucky, but no, luck has nothing to do with it. How flexible you are, things like that. How determined you are. Everything is up to you. When there's a time of volatile changes, and changes happen every day, every week, you feel like you're not in control. You can plan, you can rely on yourself, but then something comes up, totally renders your efforts useless. And that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem that volatility has. Like I said, I was lucky. I was lucky to live in a society with a stable economy for so long. I kind of got a glimpse of how normal people live, how normal people plan businesses, develop companies, research products, and just live. Because in Russia, I keep on returning to that older lady. She looked at the camera, straight into the camera, and her side was so sad. And she said, "Well, nothing's changed to me. Prices have been rising for the past 40 years, sometimes slower, sometimes faster, but they've been rising. And I'm used to that. Nothing's new, nothing is old news." And this is, I think, most Russians are like that. My parents are definitely like that. All my relatives are like that. Older people are like that. The changes that they went through and the volatility that they lived through was absolutely incredible, inhuman. And guess what's happening now? We don't have to, you know, relearn this feeling of living in volatility. We just have to, take it from someplace in a warehouse, dust it off a little bit and use it because we've been there, we've done that. What has been happening in Russia, my friends, I cannot tell you how volatile it is. Even the USSR was nothing like that. This cannot be compared to anything at all. Markets falling apart, society splitting, normal people becoming not normal right in front of your eyes fast, economy is going down the drain. Things that we relied on so long and they were so reliable. Oil and gas, that was the biggest resources of Russia, are being rendered, well, I can't say useless, but cheap, being rendered cheap because fewer and fewer countries will be buying oil and gas, and Russia will be forced to sell to the ones who still will be willing to buy at cheap prices at a huge discount. Knowing that there is something tragical and terrible going on right next door. I'm not even talking about that. That just goes without saying. Just that fact alone, I still, 6 months later, today is the 6 months, by the way, I still cannot comprehend in my head. Sometimes I still think it's a bad dream what is happening there. I can't even imagine what changes Ukrainians are going through. Well, I can, I know, but uh, now let me summarize a little bit with the areas of life I've been thinking. What kind of changes? Let's be more objective, okay? I've been telling you subjective, my feelings, my emotions, but now what areas of life, our life, my life, have been affected? All lives of us. Well, it goes without saying that number one is work related. Jobs of incredible number of people have been affected in a bad way. Lots of people were terminated, and many people have been not completely terminated, but their salaries have been cut, or they were given more work at the same rate, at the same salary. And lots of people, lots of companies, they still don't really know what's going to happen in the near future. Just like me, myself, and my company, we kind of take it week by week. At this point, the situation in the markets is fairly bad, and we just depend on our shareholder and his decisions. So it's hard for me. You probably don't understand the magnificence of the changes that are happening here in Russia. All those companies have left. I mean, how many hundreds or millions of people they employed? Where did those people go to? What about the companies that haven't left, but they have nothing, nothing to work on? There's no work left. Many more people been affected like that than the companies who have left Russia. Okay, what about the companies that work on the markets that imploded? That there are no more. Just then, it's tough. It's really tough. And right now, it's still very volatile. It's still the changes are happening fast. So everything work related. Knowing that something terrible is happening in Ukraine, knowing that is a huge, how do I say that right? Unsettling? Not really. It's not unsettling. It's tragical event that is happening, and so, like, I'm feeling tragically about that. And I know for a fact that many people in Russia are feeling the very same way that I do. Perhaps not too many are saying it out loud, but many people do feel. I believe in the goodness of Russian people, at least some Russian people. Trust me, having that burden in your heart, knowing that your country is attacking or attacked Ukraine, that's not light, not easy. I'm not complaining, okay? I'm not whining. I'm just telling you, so you somewhat understand. Well-being of people. Well-being, I'm talking about. There are some people who have assets, who saved something. In Russia, we call it to use on a dark day, okay? And looks like the dark day has come. Poor people, the ones who make living, that barely make enough to spend on. I consider myself a poor person because I spend everything that I make. Well, shouldn't say that. I have some assets. I have house. My mom has a house that I bought her. I have an apartment in Moscow. So I make enough money just to live on, and I don't have anything to save except for the money that I started receiving from the YouTube, but it's only like 3 or 4 months. Okay, so most people are like me. They don't own mega yachts. They don't own stock in foreign companies. They don't own, large apartment blocks that they rent. And most Russians are either poor or well-to-do reasonably. And I'm like, this lawyers, doctors, teachers, military, they still all fall into this category. Even small business people who work for themselves, one man show type of thing. So this is where I fall into this bracket. Some of us, we like a lot of us actually own apartments. Some own, some have mortgages, and that is a huge concern. What's going to happen with real estate? Because your real estate is valued, has certain price, and all of a sudden market becomes volatile, and bada bam, bada boom, it costs twice as little as it cost before. I've seen it happen a few times already in Russia. So that's a big concern for poor people and well-to-do people. Let's put it this way. What's going to happen with the incomes? And people rely on incomes, they feed their families and basically they live. What's going to happen to them? That's a huge concern. Now, let's move to rich people. There are quite a few rich people in Russia, and they own a lot. Again, some point in life of a person comes. It might come. It not always comes, but it might come when you make enough money to actually worry not about making, but about saving money and making money work for you. Okay, that's investing. I'm not at that point. That's why I consider myself on a lower level, okay, because I spend everything that I pretty much make. But I'm hoping to get to the level where I'll be able to not to worry about the money that I make, and worry about the money that I need to save. So a lot of people like that, how do you save money? By investing into real estate, which is fairly stable kind of investment, and to buy stock of Russian companies, foreign companies. Well, guess what? A lot of rich people have lost a lot of assets. I know personally 4 very rich families in Rostov-on-Don. Couple of them, their properties were actually featured in my videos, and they've lost tons of money in the stock market because Russian stock market has taken a plunge. And if people had some assets abroad, then if they are under sanctions, the assets confiscated, and even if they're clean, then the assets are stuck out there. They cannot do anything because of the due current situation with the sanctions that have been placed upon Russia. So the situation is pretty bad for both poor, well-to-do, and rich people here in Russia. It's different for every category, but it's pretty bad, I should say. Society, how our lives are affected greatly. Because before we had this social contract with our government, and the rules were pretty clear. The rules have been changed since February of this year, and they have been changing, and they change every single day. We wake up every single morning. There are 3 things we do. First, we look at the exchange rate of ruble to dollar, euro to dollar. Second thing, we look for the news, which new laws have been created. And the third, we watch the news to find out who has been arrested, who was arrested the night before. That tells you a lot, I think. That tells you what kind of lives we're living here in Russia these days. In general, so much every single day, so many bad news. They come from within, domestically, and from outside of Russia. And sometimes you read the news and you don't know which news are the worst, actually. Lots of countries are isolating Russia. They're discussing of cutting Russians' access to their countries, and they can do that easily, and trust me, that's not a good thought for us here in Russia. And we understand why they're trying to do that, not out of the blue, okay? So I'm not whining, again, but the fact is fact. We cannot travel freely. because all Russian airlines have grounded their fleets and they do not fly out of Russia. To fly anywhere internationally has become so expensive. To fly to the United States, if you're lucky with like 3 or 4 layovers, you get a ticket for $1,000 one way. If you're unlucky and if you wanna, you don't wanna, you want fewer connections and you want, fly not now or soon, then you paying 1,500 or so. Just so freaking crazy. Okay, and you know, all of that is really, really bad for your well-being. When you have so much pressure from different sides, from your heart, thinking about Ukraine all the time, from your head, the economy is going to hell. Thinking of responsibility, how you gonna provide for your family, how you gonna feed your kids, how you gonna keep them safe, Then when the future that you had hoped for, it's not gonna happen now, and things like that. It feels like everyone's attacking you from different sides, throwing rocks at you, and you don't know which side to expect a rock to fly and hit you. So because they're constantly flying from every single side, from every angle, okay, and that's how it feels like, and it's heavy. It's heavy. It influences well-being of people. I myself feel that in the last 6 months I have aged. Never had that feeling before. I always felt young, but something is changing inside of me. Depression, I see signs of it in myself and in other people as well. I am absolutely right because economic data shows I'm right. Pharmaceutical companies have given the reports that they have like doubled sales of antidepressants in the last few months, or increased their sales greatly. It just doesn't happen out of the blue. Something major has to happen, so everyone starts, popping pills. And in Russia, we don't have this culture of if you're depressed or feeling bad, you go to a doctor and they give you a pill. No way. We try to deal with it ourselves, and that's only the last resort to go to a doctor. And I guess a lot of people take that last resort. It's just incredible. Health suffers greatly. All that pressure, if it's constantly applied onto a person, sooner or later a person will break. And by breaking, I mean person gets sick. And it's either one thing or another: heart, diabetes, cancer, you know, every single person is different. But all this stress, all this pressure, all this heartache and pain, it's not helping. Okay, it's constantly affecting every single one of us. Again, I don't want to make a false impression that I am complaining or I am whining. No way. I understand that people next door they are having much worse than we are. So I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you how I feel and how I feel that many people around me are feeling. So overall, this new normal in Russia, these changes that happen every single day, they don't let us to relax, to rest, to, you know, catch our breath. We are constantly out of breath because we keep on running and we keep on dodging from these things. Try to dodge, and if we stop, they're gonna stone us. We're gonna fall under the stone hits. The stone hits are the sanctions, the things that our government throws at us every single day. Sometimes it feels like the entire world is against us, regular people here. Well, my friends, that's my message for today. That's what I wanted to tell you. The volatility is the new normal in Russia. And some people, a lot of people in Russia are used to volatility and changes, but, not changes like this. These changes in February, they were kicked into high gear, and the speed has gone up to like 100 kilometers per hour. All right. Volatility is a new normal, and the worst thing is, I don't really see you. I don't foresee. When it'll stop. I don't think it will stop any time soon. Very, very sad. Thank you for listening to my message. I'm gonna turn comments on and let me know what you think. Not such fun stream today, but it's not such fun life anymore. I see the usual suspects. Howdy everyone. Mika is number one today. Lorna and Mommy, they're almost number one, both of them. Harry, Bob S, howdy howdy. Donna, Toro 8 star, Angelic at Life, The Rampage Gamer, Golden Griffon, Ragnar, hi from Estonia, howdy. Tomasz Modrowski, Blackhead, Tim Deans, Mr. E30, Malay, Justeri, Frank in Texas. Howdy, friends. Thank you for joining me. Double pleasure to see people from Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Romania, Hungary, warms my heart when I see people and when they say something nice, because knowing our tough relationship in the past, I don't know, for the past, couple 100 years, that means a lot to me. Donna, looks like Donna, have you replaced Reese Gray? You are the champion of Super Chats lately. Waving the white flag. Thank you. There is a gift from Amir of sponsorship to 5 people. Very generous. Thank you so much. The new and old sponsors, please join me on Saturday for a live stream just for sponsors. It's a little different. It's so fewer people. It's not as fast paced, and I answer all questions, because there are not too many people there. That's my way of saying thank you so much for becoming sponsors and patrons. If you want me to see the message or your question, then please put it in caps and put my name after @ so it appears in the orange box for me, so I know for sure, and then I usually answer all the messages like that, just like Harry Potter did. Domi, howdy. Roy from London. Daniel has a question. When do you think this operation will stop? Thank you and good luck. Daniel, just like I finished my message with the words that I don't know when it'll stop, I was naive to make predictions when this thing started 6 months ago concerning the length, how long it will take. But you know what? None of my, not predictions, but forecasts came true. I was hoping, I was predicting that it'll be over by now. But you know what? It looks like Russia is just getting started. As Vladimir Putin said recently, we haven't even started. You know, we haven't showed you anything that we have or we can do. So, you know, I don't know. I just pray. All I can do is I pray every single day for that bloodshed to stop. Donna, Reese isn't here today. I was officially quitting the race. Thank you, Donna. Blackhead, thank you so much for the sponsorship. Thank you, my friend. Can I ask you a favor? Not Black Cat or Bruce or Amir, because you've given lots of gifts of sponsorship. If any one of you is thinking of giving gift of sponsorship to some of viewers, would you please give them to the mods? Because I personally cannot sponsor anyone. I cannot super chat from here from Russia. I'm banned by YouTube. I can receive, but I cannot do any, like, initiate any financial transactions. Okay, so I would like the mods to come and visit my sponsor only live streams, not as moderators. I don't want them to moderate. I just, you know, because they do so much work during the weekdays, 6 days a week, but just to join as members of the community. That's all. So would you please consider doing that if you're thinking of gifting sponsorship to other people? RY, howdy. There is a super chat of 50 francs from Getaf. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with the names. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Do you think life in Russia will be as before after? Yeah, this is over. Have some tea money or buy a clock to put in front of you. Well, tea money, I understand, but why? Why clock in front of me? Let me know. I have clock. I have a large monitor right next to the camera, and I have a little digital clock right on the monitor. So all I have to do is just to look rightwards, and that's it. Anyway, your question. Do you think that life in Russia will be same as before after this is over? No, no, and no. Even let's take this hypothetical situation that let's say that it's over tomorrow. And then all the governments, all countries are saying, okay, it's over, it's stopped. Let's forget about the sanctions. And they lift up sanctions. And the companies, they come back to Russia. And the business as usual, kinda, because so much has been lost in terms of money, markets, economy in the past 6 months. You can't make these things up. Okay, but if everyone comes back and continues as if nothing happened and as if uh, you know, they continue as if it was like February 23rd. First of all, we have this huge wound in our hearts because how can you undo certain things? You can't, it's physically impossible. How can you bring some cities from ruins? How can you, what can you bring people from dead? Can you bring back and then live as normal, life as usual? That is impossible. And that is right here in my heart and in the hearts of hundreds, millions, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. And like I said, I believe in goodness of Russians, at least some of them. And you know what? Those people will not be able to live as usual. And of course, I give you a hypothetical case. No one is going to lift sanctions against Russia. No one's going to be buying our oil again, gas again. Perhaps a little more. Perhaps once it's over, things will go, 10% back to normal. I don't know, 20%. But just one example. The USSR was forbidden from buying high-tech equipment from America, from the USA. And it was a law. It was actually, I think, an amendment or something like that. It was called Jackson-Vanik law or Jackson-Vanik amendment. It was done by the Senate of the United States. And it was done in like 70s. Russia fell apart. USSR ceased to exist in 1991. But no one lifted that thing, Jackson-Vanik law. No one. And it was such a big burden for a couple decades because it was really difficult to undo what was done before. Now, in Russia, well, in the world, there are 150 Jackson-Vanik laws. That was just the United States, but then every single Western company has its own Jackson-Vanik laws, and they will not undo them. Some, very few, probably will, but most will not undo that. That's for life. Now, no. Business as usual. If someone in Russia thinks that, as soon as it's over, we're gonna go back to usual, they're crazy. They are in for a rude awakening, okay? I hope I answered your question. It's a very sad answer for me, but that's life. That's what's going on right now. Just Terry, good to see you. Changes are here. It's how we adapt that helps. Yep. Thank you so much for the message. Couple more super chats from Diana S. No message. Thank you, Diana. That's a message pretty strong enough. And from Norway, 100 kron. You made me love Russians in the civil time. Oh, that's uplifting. Only God can give peace and love. Best wishes from Norway. Thank you so much for the super chat. One of the reasons that I do this is, first of all, I pray. I know that the prayers help. I don't know how much, I don't know who, but they help. And then the second is, thank you for your message. I received messages like that, not too often, but from time to time saying, hey, you are a good ambassador of Russian people. You're giving us hope that that in Russian people that the hope remains and stuff like that. And that's probably reason number 2 why I keep on going live every single night. It's not easy. You can trust me on that. It's not easy physically. It's not easy mentally. Some streams are fun, but not too many. Streams like today, it takes time to recover from the streams. I wish I could be drinking because I'd get drunk after every single stream. It's just I don't feel bad next morning. I physically get sick after I drink, you know. But that probably would help. Oh well. Thank you for the support, and thanks for the support is very welcomed. But these words that you sent me, they are priceless. Thank you. Edmund Lively, long time no see. Thanks for sharing. Let's keep the prayers going for some time for this to come to an end. Yep. Let's do that. By the way, folks, you got to see my video. Actually, McDonald's is this new company that replaced McDonald's is quite something else. Again, I don't have to say much. Just watch the video. My camera doesn't lie. It's actually pretty amazing. How can you take something so beautiful, something so precious, something so, full of love, and then in mere few months just can fudge it up. Okay. Well, to be on time for the stream, I will cut this a little short, a few minutes short, and I invite everyone to pray with me. I didn't really get too many questions. I'm sorry. I will try to make much longer stream for the answers, and I'll go over many more questions, but not today. So there's a huge super chat from Chinavi. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Much needed. I am so sorry you're going through this. Can't even imagine it. God bless you and your family. Sending positive vibes and prayers to you. Keep doing what you're doing. You are educating all of this to everyone. I think collectively we know it's not the Russian people. Look, thank you so much for the super chat support. The prices, the words are priceless. Priceless. Thank you. Reading this really warms my heart, You can count on me to show up every day when I can and, keep on doing this. Thank you so much. Thanks for the money and thanks for this wonderful words. They're priceless. Phil, I'm not able to go live as often, but always great to be here in between. Thank you so much, Phil. In your shoes, I would be drinking too. I wish I could. I drink, I feel not well the next morning. It's not worth drinking for me, And it's not because I'm older or anything. It was like that long time. Tea period. Get something good. Another one from Lifeline. Just want to poke you in the shoulder and let you know that the work you're doing is so much more important than you know. Thank you. The poke is taken. You heard thank you so much from northern part of Norway. Sending my love to Norway for whatever it's worth now, Every time I type from Russia with love, I think twice about that, how people take it these days. But thank you so much for support and thank you for amazing words. My friends, let's do the prayer and I hope to see you in the premiere afterwards. I take my, that's where I put down people. I have 2 notebooks now. Quite a few names. Let's do it. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us this wonderful day, for giving us food on our tables, putting food on our tables and giving us roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding by people who love us and who we love. Please help our children, keep them healthy and safe. regardless who they are, where they are, just all the children in the world. Please help stop bloodshed in Ukraine. We really, really need your help. We pray every single day for that to stop, for people stop dying, for blood stop shedding. Please help us. We really need your help, Father. Reach out and touch the hearts of people who are responsible for making decisions. Fill them with love, mercy, remorse, empathy, forgiveness. Just make their hearts softer. Open their eyes so they make decision to stop. Please help Russia. Send Russia a team, an army of strong angels with sharp swords, led by Saint Michael, so they restore order in my country. Please have angels run it and make it shine and make it righteous. Please send angels to everyone in Ukraine. Send help to everyone in Ukraine who has been affected by the bloodshed, by the tragedy. Please send angels so they keep everyone out of harm's way. Tend to everyone's prayer who is there praying, and answer the prayers and make their wishes come true. Please give us sense and brains and hearts to raise our children the way that when they grow up they will become better than us and will build a world that is better than the one that we have built. Please help pregnant women who are making decision whether to keep babies or not. Reach out and talk to them so that they make the right choice. Please help everyone who is running for his or her life right now, for the refugees. Send help and good people their way. Thank you so much for bringing us all together in this community and allowing us to pray together. Please help everyone who is praying along with me, us, and or watching us pray right now. Please answer everyone's prayers here and make everyone's wishes here come true. I would like to mention a few people who need your help and rely on you. They are Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Igor, Buzz, Jean-Paul, Paula, Janine, Michael Milkevitz, Marlene, Narnian Lady, Susan S., Susan, Fiona, Sabrina, Freddie, Madeline, Chirper, Stephen, Ellen, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Martin, Joanne, Donald, always asking for himself and his country separately, the United States of America, Allison and Dave Moyers, I Found Waldo, Liz, Deborah, Isabel Legault. May her father rest in peace and please give her strength. Janice Burgess, Maureen M. and sister, Bruce, Ariana, Liz, Kayleen, Michael, Thomas, Tony, Bob, Jessica, Minutes to Midnight, and Mr. Hansen, Heidi Howitz. I would like to ask for 5 kids specifically who need your help. They are Maverick, Sebastian, Britzel, Coulter, and Michael. Please send healing their way, show miracles to them and their families. These kids need to come back to their families healthy and live happy and long lives. Please show your glory and do so. Help them and help their loved ones. Thank you, Father, Jesus Christ, Amen. My friends, thank you very much. It's about time So let's jump into the premiere. I'll see you there.